Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Jack, Conrad. This is the Footy Five. We're going to take a look at Spurs, Wolves. Not really all that Spursy, even though they did give up the lead twice, I think. Wolves continue to wolve. They are. You never can count that team out. They don't lose, they draw a lot, but they have been absolutely spectacular in Europe and in the Premier.
Yeah, they've been remarkable this season. Joint second least defeats in the league, so they don't lose games. They may not win the most games. They're currently obviously placed in sixth, pretty high compared to where they would want to be. But this was another case of them fighting, having a great performance, and it turned out really well for them.
Bergwijn, the first goal, pouncing on a loose ball after Dele Alli did not finish, which was a theme for him throughout this match. He did have the overhead kick that would have been spectacular, but it ended up being rather soft and right into the keeper's hands. But the two goals, Doherty, the equalizer, way upfield. What is he doing up there on a breakaway? And then the Aurier with the glorious left-footed finish. You know, two defenders way up the pitch on breakaway, scoring goals. It was a strange mix.
I think that they're.
But Aurier's goal was
and you don't really. There's a lot of good defender goals. I don't want to say good defender goals, but there were defender goals in this game, which is a surprising change of pace. And I think that there was things to improve on for both sides. I think that looking at it, Spurs will feel like they have a lot of areas that they can improve on. So there are some things to look positive to, even after dropping a lead at home. So I think they'll have a bit of confidence and a bit of hope. Maybe not confidence after the game.
Well, Diego Jota had that winner, the assist to Jimenez on the winner. Just unbelievable play by him and just absolute lack of defense by Spurs. He gets that ball on the turn, flicks it, takes it on, and just runs. And there's two Spurs defenders in front of him doing absolutely zero. And he slots it to Jimenez, who fakes with the right, moves it onto his left, places a shot on the left side of the net. Absolutely spectacular goal. And Jota was unbelievable. Man of the match had to be for Wolves. Gazzaniga doing what he can do, but he's just not going to be able to stop that.
And I think the thing for Spurs is, obviously, there's the 74% stat where they're either set pieces or individual errors. And I think that you always look at that and you say, that's pretty bad that you're conceding that many goals from these situations. But you also look at that and you say, those are things you can change long term. And that's reasons to be positive for Mourinho in the long run. He can improve players. He can improve things like set pieces. He has a track record of doing those things. So if he can fix those things, then they're going to be really confident about the future. Obviously, right now, they're in a really tight race for some Champions League and European places. But they have a lot of reason for optimism, even in this huge injury crisis.
Seriously, any team that loses players like Son and Kane for the amount of time they're going to be gone is going to struggle. I think Mourinho's just kind of realizing that this is what I got, and I may need a whole new back line. Because neither Vertonghen or Alderweireld played in this match. And Son and Kane and look at their midfield that they fielded. It was just it's not. And Lo Celso at left wing.
You don't want him there. You want him down back in the midfield. And I think that they'll look at that table and they'll say they're teetering. They're 3 points from being in fifth place in a potential Champions League spot, but they're also 3 points away from 11th place. So they are at a point where if they can catch some form, even in this injury shortage, they might be able to get up there. But losing this match has got to hurt a lot, because if you think about it, if they get those 3 points and you take those 3 points away from Wolves, this is a completely different table. You flip-flop them and you move Spurs up even higher. Wolves are even further down below. And so it's just the impact it's had in this individual match, and all the individual matches to come are going to be even more highlighted in this spot and at the bottom of the league. So even if the race for the title is a bit over, the other areas in the league that are
37 points between first and fifth, which is crazy. That's more than the 10th. That's the same number as points as the 10th place team have. Is the difference
exactly. They've ran away with it, but the relegation battle, as well as the race for the 5th Champions League spot, assuming City get that 2-year Champions League ban, is going to be monumental. And right now, United are sitting in that position. But Sheffield United will have the extra game in hand. Arsenal have that game in hand where they'll say, well, if we've been terrible, but if we win our game in hand against City, which is the big asterisk, then they're going to be tied for points on that group with Spurs, Sheffield United, and them. So every team will say, this could be our moment. We just got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, you've got 6 teams within 6 points of that 6th spot, which could, to your point, be a Europa League spot. 6 teams within 6 points. And then Southampton just 8 points down, right?
Yeah.
That's a crazy number. Spurs have Burnley next, going away to Turf Moor. Never easy to do. Sean Dyche will have that team ready to play. They've, what did you say earlier, 5 matches unbeaten?
5 matches unbeaten, at the very least. Yeah, they're on a bit of a hot streak as well.
And then Brighton, home, or will be traveling to Wolves for their next match. This is going to be the most interesting. So Chelsea giving up points, Leicester giving up points. I think Leicester is probably, of those groups, the most consistent and the ones who I would expect to hold on to that 3 spot. I don't think they're going to continue that slide. They have not played all that well.
3 wins and 12 for them, though. They do have to step it up in the final 10 games because 8 points is currently their edge over their next rival besides Chelsea. That could go away pretty quickly. They have to step it up definitely, though.
And, United, I think, are going to have Pogba come back. Let's see what that does to their chemistry. And they're also saying that Rashford could come back before the end of the season, which seems irresponsible to me. I don't know that maybe he's okay, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's a strange table. This year it has been a very strange table. And people are saying, well, the only reason Liverpool are 37 points clear is because the quality isn't all that good. Quality is very, very good. Liverpool just lost their first match, and they went their first game without scoring. And City are obviously, they have been injury ravaged. So Liverpool have had a lot of injuries as well. Their back line,
Matip and Gomez.
Virgil is but Virgil's been the mainstay in that center back pairing, right? He's had to work with 3 or 4 different guys throughout the course of the season. Anytime you have Virgil van Dijk, you're going to be pretty good. And then you've obviously got Robertson and TAA on flanking him. But, this has just been a very strange season in terms of, and again, look at 19 and 20. Separated, granted, game in hand by 4 points, but Aston Villa has outspent Norwich by £100 million at least. So what's that down to? Managing? Mike Dean versus
I'm
Daniel
not sure.
Farke?
There's so much at stake. And you think about the amount of investment in the likes of West Ham and Aston Villa, that if either of those teams were to drop, that would be because the teams like Norwich, Bournemouth, Watford, Brighton are the ones that usually go down. They don't spend a lot. They don't have the best talent. Villa and West Ham have no excuse for that. They have tons of talent. So if they go down, the teams are going to come and feast on the remains of their club.
But Jack Grealish for sure. Yeah, Jack Grealish is going to be gone. And even if Villa stay up, I think he's probably going to be gone also. Unless I think they probably need to change a manager at Villa. I think Mike Dean. This is like what Everton happened when Koeman was there, and they spent all that money, and then the next season spent all that money, moved on from Koeman. They just don't have the right guy trying to put that team together. Is how it feels to me.
I agree with that.
All right, that does it for week 28 for us. Appreciate a subscribe, a like. Check us out on the Twitter at the Footy Five. For Jack, I'm Conrad, and this has been the Footy Five. Take care now.
Sweet.